Welcome to CBS Sports HQ. This is Game Day Recap. I'm Tommy Trent in for Haley Sutton, who by now I'm hoping is enjoying some Spanish tapas, some sangria. She was out covering the Dolphins win over the Commanders in Madrid, Spain, and we'll hear from Haley coming up later in the show. We had, 9 lead changes in Western New York as Buffalo takes care of Tampa Bay in a high-scoring game. And then in the 4 late afternoon window games, 3 of them within 1 score. The one in Arizona had a record set, but in a losing effort. But we do start with a Mile High City where our NFL Today crew was there all day long. I've got my crew with me here, Damien Harris, Rand Carthon, and Pete Prisco to talk about the AFC West showdown that went the Broncos' way. And everything pointed to Kansas City, the spread, the record, the bye week that Andy Reid comes off of, Pete. And yet it was Denver coming away with it at the end.
Yeah, and look, a lot of people, myself included, have doubted the Broncos at certain times during the season. And all they do is keep on winning. And so at some point, you got to sit there and say, you can't doubt them anymore. They win with defense. It's not pretty. They run the ball. They're creative. Bo Nix makes plays in the fourth quarter. It's the same formula week in and week out. And at some point, myself, I'm going to sit here and say it, it's time to give the Broncos their flowers. They deserve it. They've earned the right to get credit for what they've done. It's not pretty. Do you think they're going to win the Super Bowl? Most people would probably say no. But at times, defense travels, and in the playoffs, defense is really good if you have it and you can go on the road and win games. So give them the credit.
Well, I'm just going to say, Jack, get the producer, Jack, get the hot sauce.
I think you read my mind, man. You read my mind.
No, I haven't. Moment for Pete Prisco to eat his words. It's not yet. We're not there yet.
Make sure it's some Pistol Pete, too.
No. Yeah, we just make sure we have the hot sauce close by. But for me, it's this Broncos team. Just keep it close to the fourth quarter, and they're going to find a way to win it. That's what the formula, like Pete said, has been all year. And we head scratch watching these games with Bo Nix. And it's like, all right, which version's going to show up? We know there's the quarters 1 through 3 version of Bo Nix. Then we have the fourth quarter. And the big thing for him today, he didn't turn the ball over. He himself didn't put the ball in the paint. However, he didn't turn the ball over, and that is what typically allows the other team to stay in the game is when he turns the ball over. So another good day for this Broncos team. Vance Joseph and his defensive unit, they are the linchpin of this entire team, and you just expect for those guys to make plays up front.
Yeah, I respect everything these two gentlemen said. I mean, you laid it out perfectly. The Broncos just find a way to win, and similar to the Philadelphia Eagles early in the season, we just kept giving them credit because they would always find a win. Well, obviously, we've got to do that for the Denver Broncos, but I want to turn attention to the Chiefs because we all know the Chiefs are in panic mode, if you will, right now. And when I watch this game, I'm noticing a trend. And I'm not going to sit up here and make excuses for Patrick Mahomes because he's not playing well, particularly himself. But when I look at the stats, week after week, it's 40 rushing yards, 50 rushing yards, 45 rushing yards. The Chiefs have not gotten anything out of their run game since Isaiah Pacheco broke his leg and hasn't been the same player since. They've been trying to lean on a guy in Kareem Hunt who is at the end of his career, and he's just not producing. I mean, today he had 13 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown, but these aren't the consistent numbers that you need to see to have a complementary run game to Patrick Mahomes and what he wants to do in the pass game. And then on top of this, I thought Travis Kelce played his best game all year. 9 catches for 91 yards, a touchdown, 10 yards of reception. When you've got a team full of Tyquan Thornton, Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, and then a burner the burner is Tyquan Thornton. You've got all these opportunities and these weapons. Travis Kelce, at the end of his career, should not be your leading receiver. So again, I don't want to paint this picture that Patrick Mahomes has no help, but offensively, there's just nothing going right. And especially for Patrick Mahomes, there's nothing for him to rely on.
So there's something I think that's interesting, what you said, which was the backfield with Isaiah Pacheco, who hurt his leg last year. And then this year, Pete, I think I've asked you this question before early in their season. Why haven't we been able to see, with a healthy Pacheco and a Kareem Hunt, have the rushing effect that we anticipated for this Kansas City Chiefs team?
Well, I think you started to see it when Pacheco was healthy. At the end of that, before he got hurt again, he started making plays in the run game, and they started to run the football. Early on, the offensive line, I'll be honest with you, guys on the inside, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, high-priced guys, didn't play that well. Well, they've started to play well, and they started to run the football, and then Pacheco got hurt. Now, look, we can point to the run game all we want. Today was a little bit about the quarterback, too. Let's be real. The quarterback had 3 shots to open the game. 3. And every single one of them was wide open, and he missed them. And you're Patrick Mahomes, you hit those on the road, one of those goes to the house, you set the tone for the game, he missed them. And then he threw that bad interception, which you can't throw in that situation with a chance to go ahead. So we all praise Patrick Mahomes when he's at his best. Today he wasn't at his best, and I think some of that really lies on his right arm. He didn't play very well.
I mean, and not to mention, they only ran the ball 14 times today. 13 by the back, 1 by Patrick Mahomes. Like, that is not a winning formula for winning football games, especially in a game that was close, right? It was 19-19 all the way throughout, and then they kicked the field goal as time expired. And so for me, and this Chiefs offense, you need that offense. They don't have to go out and rush for 140 yards, 150 yards a game, but it's them having the ability to stay ahead of the chains, the ability to use the play action and make it effective to open up things not only downfield, but on those deep crossers that they like to use Xavier Worthy on, or those quick in-breaking routes for Travis Kelce. So they have to find a way. There are rumors that they were trying to be active at the trade deadline to go after a running back. I guess we'll never know at this point. But that is a position that they need to address moving forward.
Speaking of Worthy, because that was the guy that was on my mind when I was talking about the speedster, the burner to take the top off the defense. I mean, he's shown flashes at times. We see the speed, we see the explosiveness, we see that extra dimension that he gives the offense, but it's so inconsistent. We'll see him pop on 1 week and then he'll go quiet for 3 or 4 weeks, and it's just like, when is he going to figure it out and realize he's got to be Patrick Mahomes' #1 target and take that responsibility, take ownership of that, and become what Patrick Mahomes needs?
Are the Chiefs done? I mean, that's a legitimate question, right?
Well, I would tell you this note from a research team. Only 2 teams in NFL history have won a Super Bowl with a 500 record this late in the season. The 2001 Patriots, who were 5-5, and the 2011 Giants, who were 7-7. Again, right now, Kansas City 5-5. On the outside looking in, looking up at L.A. and Denver in the standings. What do you guys think in terms of Pete's question of the Chiefs?
I would say it depends on what do you consider done.
They can make the playoffs?
There's a chance that they can make the playoffs because we talked about it coming in. I'm just not as high on this Chargers team, which we'll talk about later, but I'm just not as high on them, and I don't know that I would believe in them. So if I had to pick one of the 2 out of that division and make the playoffs at the 6 or 7 seed, I'll hedge my bet on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Agreed. If Kansas City has a chance, I think they've earned our trust to sit out there and say, I would expect them to get in the playoffs. As long as there's a chance. I mean, I know we can sit here and talk about Pat's not playing well. Offensively, they're not doing a lot of things well. Well, Patrick Mahomes is the man when it comes to the National Football League. Granted, I know he didn't win the Super Bowl last year, but again, he has been there almost every single year. So until he doesn't get there, I have to have confidence that if there's a chance, they'll get there.
I know we pivoted to the Chiefs, but I do want to get back to the Broncos. And Rand, I'm going to give you first word because you guys talk about, and I think there's a consensus here that, again, defense elite, offense inconsistent. And so, Rand, when you have a team 11 weeks now in the season, when there's been a theme, when there's been a narrative, when there's been a trend, what are some of the things you can do? J.K. Dobbins is obviously not going to be available for them down the road from a running back perspective, but how do you keep this offense going? What tweaks can be made?
Well, the tweaks are allowing Bo Nix to use his legs on a little bit more design stuff because now, and we talk about it all the time watching him, he doesn't really throw much from the pocket. They get him on the move, they get him on the edge and on the perimeter. And so I continue to allow him to use his legs and allow R.J. Harvey to get some touches, and you could be creative with his touches. You don't have to run him between the tackles consistently, but you also got to find another back behind him because missing J.K. Dobbins is going to be huge for them because he was off to a really good year before he got hurt.
Final word, Pete?
Look, they're going to be a playoff team. They're probably going to win the division. And when you get into the playoffs with that defense, we've seen it before. Denver won a Super Bowl once in the past with that dominant defense when Peyton Manning was at the end of his career. They can do it. So do I think they're going to do it? If you ask me right now, do I think the Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl? The answer to that question would be no. Do you?
No.
You?
I don't. But what I will say, piggybacking off your all's comments, it's the defense, but it's also if Bo Nix realizes how important it is just not to turn the football over. We can talk about adding depth in the backfield in the running game. We can talk about him using his legs more. We can talk about a lot of different X's and those types of things. But when you have the defense that you have, Nick Bonito, Pat Surtain, the guys that get you the ball back, and then you take care of the football on offense, and you just make every possession end with a kick, whether it's a punt, whether it's a field goal, whether it's an extra point, the Broncos have as good of a chance as anybody.
To me, Bo Nix is going to have to be able to hit those throws down the field.
Yeah, the ones he misses.
And that's where the problem is going to come.
One quick thing about the Chiefs. We'll know more about them next week. They play the Colts coming off a bye at home. They got to win that game. They have to win that game or they're done.
Okay, we do need to hit a break here on CBS Sports HQ. When we return, a couple of the NFC's best teams went at it at SoFi Stadium. The Rams picked off Sam Darnold 4 times and still almost lost the game today. We'll discuss Seahawks-Rams next.